All right, guys, so we're going to talk about the surface area and volume formula for spheres. Now, of all shapes, I think spheres are the easiest to work with because it's the same distance all the way around, no matter where you go. So the only thing you have to worry about is having your radius. And if you have your radius, you can find whatever else. Okay, so first of all, the definition of a sphere, it's a set of all points in space that are at a given distance from a given point called the center. Okay, so once again, we have this center, and any point you draw, all the way around or down or wherever, it's going to be the same distance. Okay, a radius is a segment from the center to a point on the sphere. That should be no surprise. We've done that before. And then a chord of a sphere, we've talked about chords before, right? This would be a chord of the sphere, or this would be a chord of the sphere. Is a segment whose endpoints are on the sphere, and then a diameter would be a chord that contains the center. All right, guys, so we have a formula to find the volume of a sphere, and that's just 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, and of course, as you probably could have guessed, r is the radius. All right, so let's do an example here. It says find the volume of a sphere. So anytime we see volume of a sphere, we should be thinking 4/3 pi r cubed. And then it tells us our radius is 2. Okay, so I'm just going to plug 2 in for r. So 4/3 pi times 2 cubed. 2 cubed is 8. Okay, so 8 times 4 is 32 over 3 pi centimeters cubed. That'd be my exact answer. Okay, and if I wanted to round that, put that into my calculator, that's roughly 33.5 centimeters cubed. That's rounded. So that would be my final answer. All right, so here's another example. We're kind of going backwards on this one. We want to find the radius when we know the volume is 288 pi. Okay, so once again, the volume of a sphere can always be found by 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, our r is what we want to find. We're given our volume, right? This is our volume. So we're going to plug this 288 pi in for our v. So I say 288 pi equals 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, well, most of you want to get rid of the pi first. So those just go away. So we have 288 equals 4/3 times r cubed. Okay, well now let's deal with the fraction. Anytime we have a fraction, we want to multiply by the denominator. That and that'll go away. So 288 times 3 is 864 equals 4r cubed. Divide both sides by 4. I get 216 equals r cubed. Now to undo a cube, we cubed root. So what times itself times itself times itself again is 216? Well, guys, 6 cubed equals 216. So the cubed root of 216 equals 6. So r is 6, and that would be centimeters. All right, let's look at the surface area of spheres now. And surface area of spheres are even easier because the surface area is just always 4 pi r squared. And once again, my r is my radius. Okay, let's do an example. Here I want to find the total surface area of a sphere. So I should immediately go to surface area equals 4 pi r squared, and it tells me my radius is 3/2. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. So 4 equals 4 pi 3/2 squared. Okay, now anytime I have a fraction that's squared, this is the same thing as 3 squared over 2 squared. You have to square both the top and the bottom, which is 4 pi times 3 squared is 9 over 4. Okay, well, luckily for us, 4 goes away. We're left with 9 pi centimeters squared. Or, if I want to put that into my calculator, that's roughly 28.27 centimeters squared. All right, last but not least, one more example. It says find the radius, once again we're looking for the radius, of a sphere that has a surface area of 24 pi. Okay, so the surface area of any sphere, 4 pi r squared. Okay, well, it tells me my surface area, right? So I'm going to plug that number in for where my surface area is in the formula. So I'm going to say 24 pi equals 4 pi r squared. Okay, well, divide by 4, divide by 4. I get 6 pi equals pi r squared. Divide by pi, divide by pi. 6 equals r squared. To undo a square, we square root. So square root of 6 equals r. So r, I could say, is square root of 6 meters. Or if you want to put that into the calculator to get a decimal, that's roughly 2.45 meters.